Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Once again, welcome to Army Public School PMA Resource Network. Before we start our today's subject, English language, please subscribe this page and click on the bell icon to receive notifications of our upcoming videos. In our today's subject, English language, we will study Unit 5, topic Animals in the Wild. It is work of week 10 and I'm your teacher Fozia. Learning objectives. Before going into the details of today's topic, I would like to share learning objectives with you. So here are the learning objectives. 1. To know more about wild animals. Talk about the importance of looking after animal. Caring for pets has many benefits. Answer the given questions. And onomatopoeia are words which sound similar to the noises they refer to. Read and listen to the facts about wild animals, then match the descriptions 1 to 5 to the photos A to E. Photos are given on next slide. First, descriptions. First description is New Zealand's giant weta is one of the largest insects in the world with a body length of 100 mm and weight of 35 grams. It hides during the day, then uses its long antenna to help it move around at night. Number 2. The black widow is black and has shiny, round abdomen with red mark on it. It is very poisonous spider common in the USA. Black widows eat insects and other spiders by biting into their prey with their fangs. Number 3 is snow leopards. Snow leopards live in the cold, high mountains of Central Asia. Their thick fur keeps them warm and large paws help them walk on the snow. They sometimes travel hundreds of kilometers to find food. Number 4. Humboldt squads live in deep water in eastern Pacific Ocean. Very little is known about these mysterious animals, but they hunt in groups, using their long tentacles to hold their prey and sharp beaks to feed on them. Next is number 5, the last one. The bluefin tuna swims at speed of 70 km per hour through the open ocean. It has smooth scales over its skin and it can close its fins flat to help it move fast. All fish breathe through their gills, but the bluefin's gills are 30 times larger so they can get enough oxygen to swim fast. Now look at next slide and match the description 1 to 5 to the photos A to E. Now students, vocabulary 1, animals in the wild. Now you can easily match the description to the photos A to E. Listen the description once again in brief form. New Zealand giant weta with a body length of 100 mm and weight of 35 grams. Its long antenna help it to move around at night. So C is number 1. Next is black widow. Black widow is black and has shiny red abdomen. It is very poisonous spider common in the USA. So E is number 2. Next is snow leopard live in the cold high mountain of Central Asia. Their thick fur and large paws help them walk on the snow. So B is number 3. Humboldt squads live in deep water in the Pacific Ocean, using their long tentacles to hold their prey and sharp beaks to feed on them. So D is number 4. Bluefin tuna swims at the speed of 70 km per hour through the cool open ocean. And I think so A is number 5. Now students, match the definitions to the word in bold. And bold words are antenna, abdomen, fangs, fur, paws, tentacles, beaks, scales, fins, gills. Number 1 is the hard pointed part of the mouth of a bird or squid. Try to find out accurate and appropriate word. The feet of animals such as cats. The part of a fish that it uses for swimming. The soft hair that covers some animals. Long thin parts on the heads of some insects. The hard thing that cover the skin of fish and some reptiles. Part of a fish that it uses to breathe. The two long thin parts animals such as squids use to feel things. And two long sharp teeth. And the last one is the lower part of an animal's body. Now students, it's time to discuss onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is a word or group of words that, when spoken aloud, imitates the sounds it produces. Onomatopoeia is extremely useful in written English because it helps authors to describe sounds accurately and makes writing much more lively and interesting. What is an example of onomatopoeia? Okay, an onomatopoeia is a word that actually looks like the sound it makes, and we can almost hear those sounds as we read. Here are some words that are used as example of onomatopoeia, like Sam, splash, etc. Some words sound similar to the noises they refer to. These words are sometimes the same in other languages and sometimes different. Onomatopoeia is used for name making. For example, the English word for a small bird's sound is tweet. In Japanese, sound is like chon chon, and in Taiwanese, sound is like juju, and in Urdu, sound is like chun chun. Clear now? Now students, it's time to discuss animal sounds, and different animals produce different sounds. Here is an activity for you. With the help of this activity, you can easily find out sounds of different voices. What sounds do we make when we do the following activities? Match the activities to the following words. Words are ashu, bang, groan, ouch, screech, smash, splash, whoosh. First is jump into swimming pool. Which sound is suitable over here? Break a window. Stop a car suddenly. Sneeze. Hit a drum. Hear a bad joke. Hurt your finger. You can easily find out the sounds which we produce in these sentences when we use these sentences. Now students, it's vocabulary 2 for you, animal sounds. Listen to the animal sounds. Match the sounds 1 to 10 to the animals A to J in the photos. So match the animal sounds to the name of the following animals. Animals are given in the picture. Okay. Sounds are bear, tweet, croak, meow, neigh, buzz, cluck, hiss, moo, squeak. With the help of these sounds, you can easily find out animals. Okay, now try to find out. Now, students, spectacular safari. Okay, planet Earth is teeming with life. 8,700,000 species. That is new estimated total number of species on Earth. The most precise calculation were ever offered, with 6.5 million species found on land and 2.2 million dwelling in oceans depths. Among animals, the largest species are all marine mammals, specifically whale. The blue whale is believed to be the largest animal to have ever lived. Spectacular safari. When we talk about safaris, we usually think of excited tourists watching wildlife, wild animals living freely in the African savanna. But did you know that safaris originally had little to do with observing wildlife in the natural habitat? The word safari comes from Arabic word for journey. The earliest safaris were journey to do trade hundreds of years ago. These journeys through Africa were often difficult and dangerous, but people from different parts of the world were able to see the incredible wildlife there. Eventually, people started to make expeditions to hunt or to study the wildlife rather than to do trade. Today, most safaris are trips for holiday makers who want to see animals such as zebras, giraffes, lions, elephants in their natural homes. Some countries also have safari parks, huge parks, where the same animals live almost freely and visitors drive through to see them from inside their cars. Now, students, I want to ask two questions. Most African countries have safari parks where animals roam freely. Do you think this is a good idea? Okay, listen me once again. Most African countries have safari parks where animals roam freely. Do you think this is a good idea? And my second question is, do we have any national parks in Pakistan? Can you name any two? Okay, now try to think over these two questions and find out answer. Now, students, we have an activity for you. Activity is read the text again and circle the correct answer. Okay, read the text again and circle the correct answer. Safari is a trip or park. Try to find out. The word safari is Arabic or African in origin. The most modern safaris are for tourists or hunters. Animals live in almost natural condition in zoos or safari parks. Some people think that zoos or safari parks can spread the conservation message more effectively. Most people can or cannot afford safaris. Tourists sometimes leave their rubbish or vehicles when they go on safari. Safari organizers and participants should be responsible or popular. This is the activity. Try to complete this. Now, students, it's time to discuss success criteria, and today's success criteria is caring for pets has many advantages. Caring of animals is a great responsibility and should not be taken lightly. Talk about different animal sounds. Complete the question given in the workbook. Onomatopoeia are words which sound similar to the noises they refer to. Animals are kept in reserves, homes, orphanages to protect them. Safari parks are another way of saving animals. This slide contains home tasks for you, and today our home task is first use dictionary to find out the meanings of words in bold. Words are given: antenna, abdomen, fangs, fur, paws, tentacles, beaks, scales, fins, and gills. Next is workbook, page number 41. Exercises 1, 2, 3, 4. Complete all these exercises on workbook. Exercise 6, question 4. Question 1 to 4. Question 1 to 4. Use loose sheet. Next is reading, workbook 2, page 38-39. Answer the following questions. Most African countries have safari parks where animals roam freely. Do you think this is a good idea? Do we have any national parks in Pakistan? Can you name 2? Now students, it's time to start English literature. Novel The Last Word. And today we will study chapter 4 and 5. It is work of week 10 and I'm your teacher Fozia. Before starting chapter 4, I want to discuss learning objectives. So here are learning objectives for you: to recap chapter 4, to refresh your knowledge for written work, to summarize the chapter, to attempt exercises properly, to read and comprehend the text, to answer the questions. Recap of chapter 4. Members of expedition: Professor Challenger, Edward Malone, Professor Summerlee, and Lord John Roxton traveled down river Amazon in a canoe and then continued their journey on foot to the Red Cliffs. They discovered a campsite and markings left by earlier explorers. They followed the markings up the cliff only to find that the path had been blocked by rockfall. So they have to come back to find another route up the cliff. Here are some instructions for you. So before start reading, put all these instructions in your mind. First, read the chapter loudly with correct pronunciation. Next, underline words or phrases new for you. And the last, summarize chapter number 5. Chapter 5. Reading of chapter 5. It took us 6 days to walk around the cliffs. Finally, we had to admit that there was no way to climb to the top. That night, we gathered around the campfire gloomily and ate our dinner in silence. Challenger spent most of the evening with his head in his hands. He seemed to be in deep thought. The following morning, Professor was in much better spirits. "Gentlemen," he cried, "once we had all woken up, I have found a way up." "You have?" said Lord John. "I think so," said the professor. He pointed to a large column of rock to the right of where we stood. The rock was separated from the cliffs by a huge chasm. "All we have to do is climb to the top of this rock, then we will cross the chasm and get to the plateau." "How will we cross the chasm?" I asked. "I will tell you how when we have reached the top," said Challenger. "With our ropes, clamps, and other devices, we began the difficult climb to the top of the rock. An hour later, we had reached the summit. The view from the top was spectacular. We could see the entire plain as well as a line of green forest stretching into the distance. I was still admiring the view when Professor Challenger's heavy hand fell upon my shoulder. "This was," he said. I followed him to an enormous beech tree. "By George!" cried Lord John. "We are going to make a bridge." "Exactly," said Challenger. "The tree is at least 30 feet high. If it falls the right way, we can easily cross the chasm." Challenger handed me an axe. "Now, my young friend, please cut down the tree," he said. After an hour of chopping, we heard a loud crack. The tree swayed to one side, then crashed to the ground. The trunk rolled to the edge of the platform, and there was our bridge to the unknown. Now, I will cross the bridge first, said Challenger. Lord John looked alarmed. Wait, he said. I can't allow that. There could be cannibals waiting for us on the other side. Melon and I will go down, collect the rifles and some provisions and bring. The two guides back up with us. Challenger agreed reluctantly. 2 hours later, we had climbed down to the camp and returned with guns, food, and two guides. Wasting no time, Challenger carefully made his way across the bridge. Once he had reached the other side, he jumped off and waved his arm in the air. At last, he cried. Summerlee, Lord John, and I followed. Before long, the four of us were in Maple White's lost road. But our moment of triumph was followed by something quite unexpected. As we were making our way through the thick trees and shrubs, we heard a long, loud crash. We heard a loud crash. We rushed back to the edge of the cliff and found that our bridge was gone. We saw Gomez standing on the column of rock, his face full of hatred. Lord John, he cried, I had waited for this moment for a long time. I finally have my revenge. You killed my brother Lopez on the Putumayo River 5 years ago, and now you will die. All of you fools will die. We stared at Gomez in horror and amazement. He laughed, then quickly began climbing down the rock. Lord John raced along the cliff edge. He picked up his rifle and fired. We heard a scream, and then the sound of falling body. Lord John hurried back to where we were standing. I am terribly sorry this has happened, he said. I remember Gomez's brother. He was a thief who tried to attack me one night. I had no choice but to kill him. Our traitor was gone, but we were trapped. There was no way we could cross the chasm. A little while later, Zambo climbed up the rock. Manuel has run away, he said. He helped Gomez destroy our bridge. I tried to catch him, but it was too late. The Indians want to leave too. They are afraid of Kurupuri. Tell them to go and get help, said Lodger. Zambo nodded. He threw us some more provisions and ammunition, then returned to the camp. We set up our own camp at the edge of the cliff and surrounded it with thorny bushes. I looked into the dark chasm that separated us from civilization. Our The following morning, we decided to explore the lost world. We don't know who or what lives here, so we must be careful, warned Professor Challenger. We made our way through the forest and arrived at a stream where we saw enormous three-toed footprints in the mud. Lord John examined the footprints. It's fresh, he said, and looked. There are small ones too. What could have made it? I asked. Was it a reptile? Challenger shook his head. It could only have three. It could only have been made by a dinosaur. We stared at the footprints for a moment, then continued our journey through the bushes to an open glade, where we came up five of the most extraordinary creatures I have ever seen. Iguanodons, whispered Challenger. We crouched behind the bushes and watched the creature in disbelief. There were two adults and three young ones. Their skin was grey and covered in scales. They were enormous. Even the little one was as large as an elephant. We watched in silent wonder as the little one played and the adult ate leaves from a nearby tree. A short while later, the creature disappeared into the forest. I can't believe this, said Summerlee. Challenger, I'm sorry I doubted you. No one at home will ever believe this, said Lord John. Then we need proof, said Summerlee. We continued our journey through the woods and came to an opening in the trees. Suddenly, loud whistling noise filled the air. We carried on until we reached a line of rocks. Beneath us was a large pit filled with pterodactyls. Lord John mentioned to us to be quiet, and we observed the horrible creature in quiet amazement. They had huge leathery wings, sharp beaks, and red eyes, and there was at least 1,000 of them. The smell that came from the pit was unbearable. We watched the creature for some time, then made our way back to our camp. But there was another surprise in store for us. When we got to the camp, we found our belongings had been scattered everywhere. What could have done this? I asked. Dear students, as we have gone through the process of reading at per standard pattern, certainly you will have difficult words in your mind. So for your ease and understanding, I have chosen some words to explain their meanings. So look at the words and their meanings. Clamps, a device designed to bind or constrict or to press two or more parts together to hold them firmly. Next is cannibals, one that eats the flesh of its own kind. Glade, an open space surrounded by woods. Iguanodons, any of the genus of very large herbivorous dinosaurs of very recent Cretaceous. Reluctantly, hesitation. Pit, a hole, shaft, or cavity in the ground. Crouch, to lower the body stance, especially by bending the legs. Recap of chapters 5. It takes them 6 days to go around the Red Cliff, and still there is no way to get to the top. So they find another difficult way to climb to the top of the cliff. Their bridge to the civilization is destroyed by a traitor in their party, and Professor Challenger asks Zambo to go and get help while others move on and discover an amazing lost world. Now students, it's time to discuss success criteria, and our today's success criteria is underline new and difficult words or phrases and find synonyms and antonyms. Recall chapter 5 while going for written work. Write summary in your own words. Now students, it's time for home task, and today's our home task is written work chapter 4. Answer the following questions. Question 1 is Professor Challenger is a zoologist. What do zoologists do? What qualities would a good zoologist need? Second is why didn't people believe Professor Challenger when he claimed to have seen strange animals in a faraway land? Last is the journey was difficult one. What mode of transport was required? Name all forms of transport the members of the expedition used. Chapter 5, page 66-67. Comprehension exercises, exercise 1 and 2, and vocabulary exercises, exercise 3 and 4. Complete all these exercises on book.